Hello and welcome to the channel. The lawyer of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, has hit out at the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, saying all charges against Nnamdi Kanu were dropped by the Court of Appeal. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you. No pending charges against Kanu. Lawyer replies Malami. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami, San, should comply with the order of the Abuja Division of the Court of Appeal or consider voluntary resignation for exposing the federal government to international embarrassment and ridicule. Ifeanyi Ejiofor, lawyer to the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, said on Friday. He was responding to the statement by the Special Assistant, Media and Public Relations to the AGF, Dr. Umar Gwandu, in reaction to the appeal court judgment which freed Kanu and quashed the charges of terrorism against him. According to him, the reference by the AGF to the charge pending against Kanu before he left Nigeria in 2017 and the indication that the federal government may continue with the charge showed Malami's total disconnect with the law, with the greatest respect to his office. Malami had said that the federal government was considering the options, including proceeding only with the pending counts against Oyendu, Nnamdi Kanu, before the invasion of his house on September 14, 2017. But Ejiofor said the AGF should be appropriately guided in law. He said, "I implore him to meticulously read the full judgment of the Court of Appeal, immediately comply with orders made therein, and possibly consider the most appropriate option of voluntarily resigning for exposing the federal government to this international embarrassment and ridicule." Now, for the avoidance of doubt, the federal government has no options. It has only one option, namely, to appeal against the judgment of the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court, and the exercise of this later option shall not constitute a bar to immediate compliance with the order of the Court of Appeal, which directed for the immediate and unconditional release of Oyendu, Nnamdi Kanu. The order made by the learned justice of the Court of Appeal is sacrosanct and must be obeyed immediately without further ado. Further, the Attorney General of the Federation reference to the charge pending against Oyendu before he left Nigeria in 2017 and the indication that the federal government may continue with the charge really shows his total disconnect with the law, with greatest respect to his office. It is to be noted that the remaining 7 charges that were struck out by the Court of Appeal after it allowed the appeal on the ground that the Federal High Court has no jurisdiction to try Oyendu Nnamdi Kanu is the same charge with the same charge number, FRN versus Nnamdi Kanu, charge number FHC ABJ CR 383-2015 that has been pending against Oyendu Nnamdi Kanu at the Federal High Court since 2015. The prosecution has amended this charge about 7 times. It is the same charge that was amended to include other counts that brought the count to 7 and then to 15. The Federal High Court struck out 8 counts and retained 7. On appeal, the Court of Appeal struck out the whole charge and held that the lower court had no jurisdiction to try Oyendu Nnamdi Kanu. That being so, that charge that has been pending against MNK since 2015 and containing counts of alleged offenses committed by him before he escaped from being killed in Nigeria in 2017 no longer exists. It has been struck out. There is therefore no existing charge on the basis of which the Federal High Court can proceed and try Oyendu. Accordingly, as it stands today, there is no criminal charge pending against Oyendu Nnamdi Kanu. The declaration by the Court of Appeal that the Federal High Court has no jurisdiction to try Oyendu Nnamdi Kanu because of the illegality of his abduction and extraordinary rendition to Nigeria is an all-pervading instrumentality that effectively bars any indictment of Oyendu Nnamdi Kanu in any court in Nigeria. As his forceful abduction in Kenya and rendition to Nigeria violates all known international conventions and protocols to which Nigeria is a state party. No prosecution against him in Nigeria can ever be undertaken. This is because a course of action cannot arise from a base ground. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and please turn the notification bell on. Thank you. Meanwhile, the indigenous people of Biafra has commended the appeal court judges for discharging and acquitting its leader, Nnamdi Kanu, of all charges against him. The pro-Biafran group also appreciated its team of lawyers, who it said never capitulated until the legal victory was achieved. They urged the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, to obey the court orders and release Kanu, reminding him of his claim that he would not interfere with the judicial process. These remarks were contained in a statement by the group spokesman, Ima Powerful, on Friday. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, publicly told Elder Amechi Mbazuluike, Ohaneze Indibo President, Professor George Obiozo, and other Igbo leaders who visited and appealed for presidential fiat to be applied in the release of Kanu, that they should wait for the court to decide. Even in one of the international meetings, the ex-British Prime Minister Boris Johnson asked him why Kanu was still in detention, and he claimed that he would not interfere with the judiciary. Now the same judiciary has decided on this case. They must obey their own courts and stop making a mockery of themselves both locally and internationally. We are aware that Malami is doing the bidding of his brothers and kinsmen to keep our leader in detention longer, but we assure them that they cannot change what the competent court has said because the world is watching them. The United Nations Working Group has given them instructions to ensure the quick and unconditional release of our leader within 6 months. Now the appeal court has also discharged and acquitted him and called for his immediate release. Nigeria presidency have the opportunity to release him unconditionally and save themselves from the shame that will befall them. IPOB is ready to bring more shame against them if they delay in releasing Nnamdi Kanu. Let God's servant, Nnamdi Kanu, and his people go or face more plagues. A station time saves 9. The National Security Council on Friday said it was backing the position of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, over the appeal court judgment on the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, that debunked his complete acquittal. The Minister of Police Affairs, Mohammed Dingyadi, disclosed this to State House correspondents shortly after the NSC meeting presided over by the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, at Aso Rock. That's the news, guys. Until next time, bye.